Oh, GGM, you're playing D&D wrong. Well, we've already sort of come to that conclusion, right? That I'm playing it wrong, except nobody seems to know how to play it correctly. Everybody says everybody else is playing their game wrong. And that's the problem, right? Their game. We're not playing their game, so we're playing it wrong because we're not playing their game the way their nostalgia tells them it was played back in the 80s. And if we're not playing it their way, we're playing it wrong. The OSR says if you don't play the OSR way, you're playing it wrong. The 5e players say, well, if you don't play 5e, you're playing D&D wrong. The Critical Role fan base says if you don't play D&D exactly the way Mercer runs it, you're playing it wrong. Lunatics like Scott Garrity say if you don't play it exactly the way he plays it, you're playing it wrong. Hashtag Garrity has no players. The BROSR says if you don't play AD&D exactly as written, exactly as Gygax intended, then you're playing it wrong. Of course, they've already admitted that they don't play it because they also use BECMI and ACK, and seem to have forgotten that the very first thing Gary said is, I don't fucking care, just have fun. Now, it's funny that they constantly use this picture as the example of the game we are supposed to play. Every time it comes up and Gygax comes up, we throw this picture here, and this is the picture of Gary Gygax showing us the game the way he intended it to play it, the way he wants us to play. And everybody's like, oh, that's Gygax, and that's the game he's playing exactly. Garrity claims that Gygax worked on 5e, and 5e is the game that Gygax wanted us to play. The BROSR claimed that it's, AD&D. The OSR has over 1,000 retro clones because they're all trying to figure out which the right way to play 5e. It always comes back to this picture, except, of course, the picture is of a completely different game. It's not D&D. It's Gary's other game, Legendary Journeys, the game he was working on after TSR kicked him to the curb. So basically what you're saying is we should be playing Legendary Journeys? Or basically what you're saying is that if I don't play the game exactly the way you play it, I'm playing it wrong. Because it's your game, and we have to play it your way, or we're wrong. Now, I've been doing this for 40 some odd years. I've read every rule book for every iteration of D&D, played every iteration of D&D, played multiple OSRs, played lots of other games, wrote stuff for D&D, wrote stuff for other games, published stuff for other games, played with multiple people all over the world in multiple situations. Apparently, despite the fact of playing AD&D for almost 15 years straight, I was playing it wrong. So it all comes down to we are playing their game wrong. If we don't play it exactly the way they play their game, we're playing it wrong. But everybody says everybody else is playing it wrong. You're playing the game wrong if you don't play it my way. No, you're playing the game wrong if you don't play it my way. Which, ergo, we're all playing it wrong. Which means we're all playing it right. Now, usually at this point, my conclusion is, well, as long as you're having fun, it doesn't fucking matter. If you're having fun and everybody else at the table is having fun, and at the end of the 3, 4, 6, 8 hours of play, everybody goes, that was a great time, thank you very much, and then goes on with the rest of their life until the next time you play, then you've done your job and you're not playing wrong, because it's a game and it's supposed to be fun. Except, of course, it's not supposed to be fun. That's what I've been told recently, is D&D isn't about having fun. It's not a game about having fun. I mean, a game by definition, but no, it's not about having fun. It's about, making people better people. Except, no, that's not what it's about, because D&D is not therapy. D&D is not a life path. D&D is not a guide of how to live your life. It's a fucking game that has been repeatedly changed and altered multiple times. Everybody has their own take on it. At the end of the day, we're still rolling dice. We're still looking at the numbers at our piece of paper. We're still moving our little things around the board. We're still going, yes, I hit, or fuck, I missed. Now, somewhere in the great afterlife of games, I assume Gygax is looking down at us and just shaking his head going, why are you fighting over this? Jesus Christ, get over it. It's a fucking game. Move on. But it's very easy to get very tribal about this and that your way is the best way and you have to attack anybody that doesn't it. And that's, and eventually it breaks down to the insult tossing. The BROSR have called me moron and imbecile and other names. Garaby's called me names. The OSR's called me names. The 5e players have called me names. The Critical Role fan base calls me names. The argument always breaks down to insults, bad names, and then, of course, the threats. I'm going to come over and fucking kill you, You don't play D&D my way, you need to fucking kill yourself. And that's where I'm just like, well, I won, you lost. Instead of having, an intellectual debate with me, you resort to name-calling and threats and insults. And that, that's not how you win a debate. Unless, of course, well, we're not going to get into that. But, no. Now, at this point, I would say, fine, give me proof. Give me proof I'm playing it wrong. And jokingly, I said, sure, go get Gygax and have him tell me that I'm wrong. Because, he's dead and you can't. But so we're all playing it wrong. And if everybody is playing it wrong, then either there is no right way to play this game because really just it's a completely different experience for everybody who plays it. And it's, much like art, we all come away from it with our own experience, our own perception, our own iteration, and we play it the way we enjoy. And if we're lucky, we find 3, 4, 5 other people who also play it the same way we enjoy. And then we sit down and we play with them for a couple hours. And then we're like, you know what? That was fun. I had a good time. I made some friends. I laughed. There was excitement. There was adventure. There was passion. There was edgier seats. It's the most fun you can have for free. Well, except, of course, D&D isn't free. It costs a lot of money. But, once you get it, it's free. Yeah. So then the point is just, to be around a group of friends playing D&D because it's fun and it's something you enjoy doing with your spare time. Right? So I'm happy saying, you know what? You're right. I'm wrong. I've been playing it wrong because I play D&D to have fun and to learn things and to go out and meet people and interact with the world and play through these silly stories and then go, you know what, that was a great time. I had a good time. And then move on with my life because there's, lots of other things going on in my life that are way more dark and depressing and dreary than D&D. It's fun. When it stops being fun, then that's when I'll say, tell them I'm done for the love of the game. So, in conclusion, I guess my argument comes back down to my original argument. You know what? As long as I'm having fun, who cares if I'm playing wrong? As long as the people I play with are having fun, who cares if I'm playing wrong? Am I hurting you? Am I in any way, shape, or form infringing on your rights to play your game your way? Because whatever, No, I'm not. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not hurting anybody. I'm sitting down with a bunch of friends playing silly games that I've been playing pretty much nonstop for the past 30 some odd years. And, then I move on to other things in my life. And then if I'm lucky, I get to play again. Maybe it's another week. Maybe it's another month. Maybe I have to wait a year or two. Thank you, COVID. But yeah, so we're all playing it wrong. Nobody gets it, but it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. It's a silly little game. about dice and figures and elves with sticks. Hashtag elves with sticks coming to a game store near you soon. So if I'm playing wrong, great. If you can find proof that there's a different way to play, maybe I'll go, yeah, that's a better way. Or maybe I'll go, yeah, no, I like the way I'm playing. And you should just be like, okay, fine. You appreciate the fun you're having, then I appreciate the fun I'm having, and that's all that really matters, in the great scheme of what's going on in this beautiful planet of ours. How I play Dungeons and Dragons for a couple hours every now and then doesn't matter. It has no effect on anything. And the fact that it upsets people so much is just kind of counterproductive to what Gygax wanted. Just wanted us to sit around and play a stupid game. So sure, yeah, I'm playing D&D wrong, but who the fuck cares? Because I'm having fun. And as long as I'm having fun and the people I'm playing with are having fun, that's all that matters. So, yeah. So that's about it. That's all I have to say today. I think I've beat this topic to death, and we can now move on to our regular scheduled normal week of D&D related nonsense and reasons to hate Wizards of the Coast. So, see ya.